Hello, beautiful ones. So this is a Galactic Mayan astrology report for the 13th of March, Wednesday the 13th of March, 2024. Ooh, it's an exciting time. So we made it through the central column of the Zolkin, right? So we've got 260 days is our human evolution process. It's about how much time we spend in the womb. This is what Galactic Mayan astrology is based upon, this 260-day cycle. This 260-day cycle is split into 13-day journeys with 20 archetypes. In the middle of our process, we have this like 20 days where we work with each one of the archetypes, and it is our core self, our core process. So the previous wave spell, that of the blue monkey, started in that central column and was the journey that took us out of the center. My partner this morning, when we were talking about it, he was saying like it feels like that central column 20 days is almost when we get to like the bottom of the barrel, the bottom of the sea, and all of the sediments present, and things can get quite murky, and we're a little bit like, I don't know what's going on. No matter how much like refinement we'd done in that first half of the cycle, that 20 days in the middle, it's a bit like, fuck. But we made it, we did it. And now we're moving into one of the two most powerful wave spells. So on either side of that central column, we have two extremely potent 13-day cycles. And the reason that those two wave spells are so potent is because they have 10 portal days each. A portal day, I've done a video, maybe I've done two videos about it on my channel. So if you have a look, like, what is a portal day? There's like, I go into a lot more depth in that video. I think it's a bit cringe because it's from like many, many years ago, but fuck it, have a look on that. But what I will say for now is like a portal day is a day when our opportunity to reactivate dormant DNA is heightened. That's really what it's about. It's like we can access the subtlety of reality and the portal that the subtlety of reality provides for transformation, for conscious evolution, with much more ease on a portal day. These wave spells have 10 back to back. So the first one, before we went into that central column, was the red serpent, and that's all about the shedding and the letting go. And now the wave spell that we're moving into is the yellow seed that has these 10 back-to-back portal days. So what's the yellow seed about then? Yellow seed. So it's a yellow sign, and the yellow signs are all about this blossoming, this flowering. So what we'll probably find, is that we are beginning to blossom forth on the back of all that we've journeyed in the first half of our 260-day cycle. And, looking around, being part of the human experience, being within community in the human experience, this year, this serious year that we're in, which started in July, which is part of this 13-year cycle that started in 2019. These are intense times on the planet. These are intense times in the human experience, and we've really been forced to do the work, to face our shadows, to journey the challenge of what it is to be here. And I know that we kind of have that experience all the time, but this particular year has felt to be, and all of the other astrology as well, like the traditional astrology, Western astrology, has been pointing toward this as well, that it is a particularly potent time for human evolution. And in 2012 or maybe 2021, some people suggest the long count Mayan calendar came to an end, and this 26,000 year cycle completed and restarted. And this 26,000 year cycle is allegedly about our orbit around the Pleiades, which is mirrored by Sirius. So we're like coming into this alignment with Sirius that happens. Well, we're always in alignment, but this point where that happens once every 26,000 years. And, you know, what I feel from that is, you know, this time on the planet is incredibly significant. I know that everybody's saying it all the time, but it really is, because of the where we are located in the galaxy is giving us the opportunity to really come online now. And this 13-year process with the wizard, because that's the archetype, that's the energy that is the 13-year process that started in 2009, and this particular year between July 23 and July 24 is in the white wizard energy. So it's really this time of alchemy. That's what the white wizard's all about. It's like bringing the subconscious shadow shit to light, doing the alchemy so that we can become sovereign wizards, you know, wizard being somebody that's consciously creating in reality. Yeah. So we're really in this time, big time. So for us then to move into the yellow seed WAVESPELL with all of that energy and context, this has got the potential to be a really powerful time for us if we choose to harness it. And what we're talking about here with the yellow seed, as I say, it's this flowering. So we're flowering from the carnage that has been the past few years, but particularly, you know, the past 6 months. And the seed is about our conscious intention. The seed is about, you know, really owning that we are the seeders of our lives, the seeders of our destiny. And, you know, you could say, some people suggest that there is like a destined path for each one of us. And maybe it is that synchronicity is the choice point on that destined path. Every time that we meet a synchronicity, it's this moment of, are we going toward that like highest expression of who we are, or are we going back into the old pattern, you know, doorway, 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 doorway. And the more that we follow the synchronicity, this like coincidental, how the hell did that happen? The chances of that reality occurring are so minute. Every time we follow that, we reach another and we reach another. And this is why there's often like quite a deja vu energy within synchronicity, because it is allegedly, perhaps, I would say it is, this destined timeline that we are following. But it's a choice. If we want to live on that timeline, if we want to be our part, because for me, like the way that I see synchronicity is that it is like the actualization of harmonized humanity. It's all of us being in our full expression together. So the synchronistic realm is the timeline that exists when all the humans, souls in human form, are like, yep, we're operating through the heart. We are all in this incredible orchestra together. Each person has their own part in this incredible orchestra. And when we play it all together, woes. So within the yellow seed energy, we are given the opportunity to be seeding our reality. Now, you know, this idea of destiny, it isn't that things just happen to us. Like, it is that we have to make the things happen. We have to ready the vessel. We have to make sacrifices. We have to trust without knowing. But we also need to intend. Our intention is everything. Our belief system is everything. So the seed is the seed of new life. The seed is the seed of intention. It's like, what is it that we are calling in? What is it that synchronicity is nudging us toward? What is it that we are desiring at a deeper level? Like, what is the seed or the seeds that we are planting? It's also the energy of the seed that we are. So I think sometimes when it comes to like manifestation and all the rest of it, this is where I find the destiny notion a little bit easier to lean into, because if each of us is this like astrological reflection, you know, this combination of energetics that create the form that we're in now, there is a load of gifts that are like natural to this fractal, and there are a lot of challenges that are natural to this fractal, and perhaps the journeying of those challenges brings more gifts for this fractal. But in terms of what this fractal is, we could see that each one of us is a seed. So the more that we know ourselves, we know the seed that we are. And we can therefore lean more into the embodiment of the seed that we are, as opposed to who we think we should be. And I think sometimes in, the new agey world, it's almost like looking through a catalogue of what are the different things that I want to embody as a practitioner. Oh, I like that one, and I like that one, and I like that one. So I'm going to train in all those things. But actually, the astrological framework, you're a unique fractal of existence and you are a specific seed, is more about who am I as a seed? Like digging this way as opposed to looking through a catalogue. Oh, there's this thing. This is part of my astrological makeup. This is a really strong part of who I am. Oh, there's this big trauma that I had. So if I flip that trauma, oh, that gives me all those gifts and all those understandings. And then it's like we create this patchwork of understanding of who we are as the fractal that we're existing as in this lifetime. And then we might also get like past life imprints, or, things that we just know, or things that we just embody, or gifts that we just have that we're aware of. So it's this process of like discovering the seed that we are, as opposed to planting seeds. It's like not just what do I want, how do I want to live, which is really important for us to choose that, because if we're not consciously choosing, it's being chosen for us. So we do have to consciously construct the reality that we are living. But in terms of like, who am I, how do I want to show up in the world, as opposed to it being this like flick through the catalogue and see what feels nice, it's more of a dig into the self and be like, oh, right, okay, they're the pieces of who I am. They're the ways that I operate. How do I craft a life around the seed that I am? And then also another piece of this is like, how do we nurture the seed? Like if we're all different plants, if we see us as plants, what the different plants need is different. I've got so many different plants in here, and like loads over there as well. These ones, the lily in particular, like she's there. So she's got a very specific, in all the different places that I've lived, I've had to find the perfect spot for her to thrive, because she's very particular with what she needs. And in certain spaces she'll droop, or in certain, whereas my rubber plant that I've had for yonks, anywhere, I can put that rubber plant anywhere, and it's really sturdy, it's pretty cool, it doesn't need very much in terms of specific location to thrive. But if we're all plants and we don't know the conditions that we need to thrive, if we don't know the things that we need to, some people can eat whatever the fuck they want and they're totally cool. Other people need a very specific diet, or they start spinning out, or getting sick, or, mental health goes out of whack. Some people need loads and loads of sunlight. Some people are quite all right going through the winters and all the rest of it. So it's like figuring out, okay, if I'm the seed and I can understand the different qualities that make the seed that I am, and maybe I don't know the plant that I'm going to grow into, maybe I don't know exactly how I'm going to blossom, because that's another part of it, it's like you can get a bulb, you can be like, oh, it's meant to be this thing, but then when it pops, when it bursts, when it flowers, it's like, oh my lord, didn't know you were going to look like that, that's amazing. And that's what we are too, but we need to understand how to take care of the seeds, how to take care of the seeds that we are. So what is it that you're wanting to manifest on one level? What is it that you are as a seed on another level? What is it that you need as the seed that you are to blossom into that thing that you're wanting to manifest and create? Because it's not enough just to be like, oh, I want that thing. Okay, I've decided I want that thing. It's like there's so many different pieces that have to come into play if we are to actually manifest. Manifestation it's mystical, but it's about alignment, and alignment comes with action too. The other piece of the yellow seed is this, like the seeds of a new humanity, the seeds of a new conscious humanity. Water in the seed I am. So I think it's really important in our manifestations, particularly at this time on the planet, you know, we've got to put it in context and remember, like, okay, a few generations ago, there was a world war. And I know that there's a lot of disruption on the planet right now as well, but in a collective sense, there was a world war. Then there was the generation that followed that. So we had this, like, okay, everything was super fucking limited. And then you can have whatever the fuck you want, go for it. And I know I'm talking in very Western terms. But now it's like, oh shit. So we do have to reintegrate self into collective now. So this seed that I am, these desires that I have, these things that I want to manifest, do they fit into a holistic, loving, devotional relationship with the planet, with my fellow humans? Do these things that I'm wanting to bring, or does this way that I want to live, or does this, these ways that I'm wanting to show up, do they nurture everything else around me? Because it's also being aware of, like, you're a seed and I'm a seed, but we're seeds together. And what means, like, what that means is that we can co-create and, do amazing things together, but it also means that we can damage each other and we can damage the planet, if what we are calling in and what we're embodying isn't holding that awareness of, like, what are the implications of this. So we're really being invited with the yellow seed energy to get to know who we are as the seed, figure out the conditions that we need to manifest into our full blossoming, figure out what our full blossoming looks like, and it's an impression. It's not an exact thing, it's an impression. And then from there, this idea of manifestation is like, it's holistic manifestation. It's what do I need to do? What do I need to create in terms of condition? What are my plant requirements to be able to thrive? But then with my thriving, how can I be of greatest service, essentially? How is that thing that I am calling in gonna be a support for everything that exists? How am I supporting the ecosystem with this thing that I'm wanting to be and wanting to become? And this is, it's so far removed in it from this really weird way that we've been taught to exist, which is, plow on, do whatever the fuck you want, achieve, fuck the consequences, don't worry about taking care of anything. Oh, and just at the moment, I'm just having so many different moments of just being like, what the bloody hell have we done? And yeah, there's all these, like, oh, it's because of these dark agendas and all the stuff around that. And it's like, well, yeah, but also that does not take away our responsibility. We have a responsibility. If anything's going to change, it's through humans taking responsibility for themselves. There's all this talk of, like, sovereignty and, like, we deserve to be free and we must claim our freedom, but freedom is fucking responsibility. So until we can actually be responsible for ourselves, for our impact in positive and negative ways, and really own that shit, how the fuck can we be sovereign? Like, sovereign isn't that everybody's just really taken care of, because we can't fucking take care of ourselves or one another yet. Oh, it does my tree in, honestly. But this wave spell is about us figuring out the seeds that we are. Where does this, or what does the seed that I am need in order to thrive? And how can I refine the desires? How can I refine what it is that I'm calling in to be a nurturing thing for the whole of existence, as opposed to just me? And then from that space, utilize those fucking portal days and manifest the fuck out of it. And there's so many different ways to manifest. I love sigil magic. I love vision boards. I love visioning. I love seeing myself. Like I use crystals and I journey and I see myself in different realities, and I use my language really specifically. Again, I use sigil magic, I use blood magic, I use sex magic, you know, bringing all of these different forces together to be like, that is the reality and I'm going toward it. And it is already, and it is already, this is it. But really, I encourage everyone to please begin. And I know that most of us are doing this anyway, but also responsibility, man. Be responsible for your health, for your wealth, for what you're putting into the planet, you know, what you're putting into the human collective. Like, responsible for your shadows, responsible for the impact, all of it, you know, and we're all a bit of a mess. But I think there's something, the other day I was like voice noting my mate. I saw this proper minging dirty plaster, and it just felt like just on the floor on the side of the canal, and it just felt like a real reflection of just sometimes the mess that we are as humans. And that's all welcome and it's all good, but there's got to be an element of ownership of that. And I think that's the thing. It's like, you know, in terms of what we're manifesting, in terms of what we're moving toward, in terms of who we're desiring to grow ourselves into, is it, you know, not just is this going to feel the best for me? It's like, is this going to feel the best for me and for existence? You know, is this me stepping into the arena in the synchronistic realm, playing the specific tune within the orchestra of existence that I'm meant to be singing, that adds to all the sound that's already there? You know, and that's the thing. It's like, follow the synchronicity, use astrology to decode, figure out, okay, this is kind of what I'm envisaging is the seed that I am. Okay, what the fuck does that need? How do I nurture that? Okay, install. I'm making it sound simple. Maybe not that simple. Maybe it is. Who fucking knows? So yeah, portals, loads of portals, really powerful time, manifestation on stations, but be aware, be loving, be as high vibrational as you can be. And when I say high vibrational, what I mean by high vibrational is aligned with love, super duper loving, unconditionally loving, bam, resonating with as much love for existence as you possibly can. Tomorrow on Yellow Magnetic Seed, I shall be publishing a video where Taco and I are talking into, yeah, some pretty cool, deep pieces of the archetypes of Merlin and Magdalene, and, you know, the reality of what happened on the island that we exist within, you know, on Albion. And yeah, so give that a watch. There's some codes in the video. We filmed it in the centre of Manchester. It was dead funny. And I think that is all that I want to share. I send you loads of love, and I hope you have a splendid wave spell. And again, just like big ups for staying on the planet, because if you've got your feelings switched on, it's fucking intense at the moment. And I think it's going to start to ease now that we're out of the central column. Like, all the astrology for April is looking pretty fucking sweet. But just go gently, because it's been a hell of a ride, hasn't it? So yes, big love, big ups, and bye-bye for now.